we go. Wanted to see how long I could go. Was that Andres Cantor like?
That was pretty close.
And that I didn't even take a deep breath.
No, you didn't. I saw you were in the middle of getting all the other widgets and doohickeys going in your side of the booth there, and
I got a little bit of angst today, folks. Welcome, everybody. It's the Rich Rare Radio Show back with you. Today's Tuesday, right?
Today is Tuesday.
My days are off because yesterday we basically sat here all day long with the rain in Miami and trying to get the broadcast going. Poor Brian Jeffries. Didn't have much of a voice after calling game after 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 game. Then he had to sit through lengthy rain delays. Then they had flooding. They didn't have electricity at the ballpark. But he is a gamer. He is a gamer. And he got the game on yesterday. Wasn't the outcome that we were looking for, so we didn't have a show yesterday. We were sitting here ready. Dragon Ball, were you ready?
I was ready.
I was ready. Everybody was ready, but the rain came in the morning, and then the rain came again, and they put the tarps on, took them off, put them on, took them off, put them on, took them off. So finally, when they got the game going, it actually preempted our show. So I'm back, ready to go today with you. Hope everybody's having a great, sweltering Tuesday. How hot is it today?
It was, just based on what I've been seeing, it looks like it's about 103 right now, isn't it?
Right now, it's 104 degrees.
104.
106 is the high today. Are we used to that? Is it nothing to us?
Depending on
like I walked
how
around.
much.
I went down. I was on campus today.
Yeah.
So I had lunch at Dirtbags. If nobody was there, I was like the only person there because everybody's gone from the school year.
For the summer, yeah.
Yeah, for the summer. But so I went and I was on campus. Adia Barnes is having her basketball camp. Mm-hmm. We talked to some student athletes that are going to be competing in the nationals in track and field, and I saw Fred Harvey yesterday. So I was on campus the last couple days, and I was thinking, like, does this? I was walking around again. You know, I got a button-down Oxford, and I got a pair of shorts on it, a pair of Vans, and I was just thinking to myself, I don't even really notice. It doesn't seem ungodly, ungodly hot. Temperature of the sun. I'm about to spontaneously combust.
Now, I think it depends on how often you're in the sun throughout the summer. I feel like the longer you're out in the sun, the more you get used to it. So
I gotcha. I thought you were talking about my urban sombrero.
Well, the urban sombrero. Let's talk a little bit about the 10-gallon jug you got sitting on the top of your head today, because that was. Seeing you walk in with that was kind of impressive.
This is an impressive lid. For those of you watching on our stream, this is worth just watching on our stream right now.
It was hilarious. I honestly thought you weren't going to be able to fit through the door frame when you came in to see me today.
I got this hat. I found it up in Scottsdale a couple weeks ago. I wear a size 8. This looks like, you remember those big foam hats that they would sell at football games that were ridiculously large?
These are the little like gift shop hats that you would send out for like Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yes.
You see those out in the stands for Oklahoma State football games and things like that.
Yes. So I got one. I found it in Scottsdale a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, that's the best hat to wear around Tucson in the sun.
It covers you completely.
It covers my size 8 head.
And your neck and your shoulders and everything else.
My shoulders and 2 people standing next to me.
Yes.
This thing is like wearing an 8-foot umbrella on top of my head.
It's an umbrella on your head.
It's an umbrella.
To be fair, this is a better looking umbrella on your head than what those umbrella hats
So this is the urban sombrero that I found. And then I went and had it customized with a red and blue hatband for U of A colors.
There you go.
This is going to be my summer hat. So I walked in wearing this, and Dragon Ball's like, oh my gosh, that is the urban sombrero.
Yes, it is a huge
I'm going to wear that hat every day.
And you probably will need to, because again, if it's 106 is the high today, and we're just getting to the start of June?
Yes.
Yes, so you're going to need that.
I so love the desert. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We got a lot to get to. It's Tuesday. We're going to talk with Francisco Romero, radio voice in Espanol of the Arizona Wildcats and the Houston Astros. We'll talk a little baseball with him, get his thoughts on the Arizona softball and baseball season coming to an end. We're going to do that for you. And today, we are officially 24 hours away from the beginning of the Tucson's Top Cat tournament that'll begin tomorrow. This is something that we started last week. We are going to pit the top 64 Arizona Wildcats of all time against each other in a battle royale. 64 enter, one walks out of our tournament is the top cat from Tucson.
Top alumni. Tucson's
Top Cat. They had to have gone to the University of Arizona, step foot on campus. The names we have in this bracket challenge is going to be great. So it goes live tomorrow, and then we're going to ask you to vote. We're going to take a week to vote on each round. So right now we're at 64. Then next week on Wednesday, we'll get down to 32, 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4, and then the championship. Mm-hmm. And we'll announce our number one seeds and start throwing out some names that the committee's looking for. I will tell you, one of the was it last four in, first four out? Francisco Romero is one of the first four out. He didn't make it.
Ouch. Sorry, Francisco.
When you look at the names,
there's a lot of alumni that you're shocked by.
And it's not just sports.
Yeah.
It's not just sports. We went, and we told you some of the names last week that we were considering for number one seeds.
There's a number of NASA astronauts that are on that list.
I think they might be on the first out.
Yeah, they might be.
First four out. I mean,
compared to the rest of the list that we saw.
You've got 3 owners of sports franchises. You've got iconic names in the city and around the country. You've got Hollywood represented. You've got journalism and media. You've got sports. You've got business. You've got politicians. You have guys that have run for president of the United States that are not number one seeds. We're going to go through that with you on the program a little bit later today. But right now, let's just get right to it. I've had 48 hours to have all these things banging around in my head that I wanted to get to. So let's see what's banging around, what's rattling around in the size 8 head of mine right now, shall we?
Warning. The following segment might trigger some listeners, and 1290 does not take responsibility for the following content.
What the hell is going on?
It's time for the list as we explore the sick, twisted mind of our host, Rich Herrera.
And that's when things got bad.
And the list of things he is thinking about in that huge size 8 chrome magnum head of his.
Look at the size of that boy's head. That's like an orange on a toothpick.
You're gonna give the boy a complex.
Well, that's a huge noggin. Has its own weather system.
Oh, rattling around in this big old size 8 head. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? All right, here's the first thing that I'm thinking about right now. Cats lose in heartbreaking fashion in Miami. I know Arizona baseball's bummed out. In fact, look, I'm wearing my Arizona baseball 2022 baseball softball credential. Show everybody on Facebook and YouTube what I'm wearing. I'm wearing it because I'm proud of the job that Chip Hale did this season. I'm proud of the job that Caitlin Lowe did this season. It was heartbreaking to watch the Arizona Wildcats just run out of steam yesterday. And Ole Miss, give them credit. They kept adding and adding and adding, and that's what you do when you're a team that has aspirations to go to Omaha, and certainly Ole Miss did. It is really tough to fight your way out of the losers bracket. For anybody. And for the Arizona Wildcats, they were good, but just everything had to go right. Everything had to go right. We'll talk more about them coming up in the program in softball. And again, I'm bummed out, and you should be, because just getting Oklahoma City is not enough for this softball program. But hats off to Caitlin and the Arizona softball team and what they accomplished. So I'm going to start off with that right now. I'm starting to get concerned about the men's basketball roster. They're working hard, but they need some help. A couple people have come in and visited. A couple people have decided not to come here. Tommy Lloyd is working hard to bring people in. But right now with the 9-man rotation, which you know is going to get shortened by the time we get there, and the fact that Azuolas Tubelis will not be playing on the 20-under Lithuanian national team That's a red flag for me. That's something that's a little bothersome. They said it's going to take immediately rest treatment and quote-unquote surgery, according to the folks in Lithuania. Now, Arizona has not commented, not seen this. We don't know if this has been an old injury, a new injury. They did use the word chronic, the chronic wrist injury. So I hope he gets back to the States as quick as he can, get in front of the Arizona doctors, let them take a look at it, and then hurry to get his treatment so he doesn't miss any of the season, because he's going to be asked to do quite a bit on this team, probably even more now that Christian Coloco is gone, Ben Matherin is gone, and now Dalen Terry is gone. Azuolas Tubelis is going to be a bigger part of the offense than he was the last 2 years. So I hope they get him back sooner rather than later. But I think it's something, if you're an Arizona Wildcat fan, not reasons to throw up your hands, not reasons to stand there and yell and scream at the sky, but it is something that we need to keep an eye on. And it's something that's a little bit bothersome to me today, that Arizona is going to be a little bit thin. And then I'm going to have the concern until we see how Azuolas' wrist is. Tommy Lloyd got his new deal. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in earnest, because when he got the deal and it came down last week, we were just finishing up the show, and we were also talking some baseball, so we didn't get into it. In case you missed it, Tommy's got a new 5-year deal that replaces the last 4 years of what he has. It locks him into the Arizona Wildcats. He gets $1 million a year bump in salary. He'll be making $4 million, which is what top flight NCAA men's basketball coaches are able to generate. It's good for the University of Arizona because it's got a huge poison pill. He cannot leave without having severe financial penalties for whoever tries to take him. The buyout for Tommy Lloyd is $12 million, I believe. I think that's what it is. I know it's north of $10 million to try to steal him away. So anybody else is going to be looking for a coach in the next year, go look somewhere else. Tommy Lloyd's locked into the University of Arizona. But with that being said, for Tommy, now that you make that kind of money, I have no problem with it. I think he deserves it. I think he's shown that he's a top flight coach. I think he's shown what he can do with this program. He brought the University of Arizona back to national prominence, into the national consciousness. You had something special going on and continues to go on here. He's changing the culture in his own way while respecting what Coach Olson and what Sean Miller did before him. And he's going to continue to put his fingerprints on this program without blowing everything up. But with that type of contract also comes pressure. And his wiggle room, cutting him some slack, has severely gotten smaller once you get into that type of contract. I think he's the kind of guy that welcomes that pressure. I don't have any problem with it. I don't think he does. I think he strives. I think he thrives on things like that. So those are some of the things that are kind of batting around in my head right now here on a Tuesday. This sounds like Benny Hill music.
It's got a little bit of that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah, no, this is good.
You sure?
It's got that old-timey just jazz feel to it. And I've always been a fan of jazz. I've always really liked jazz.
Name me a jazz musician.
Louis Armstrong. Hey, you said just name a jazz musician. You didn't specify if it had to be an obvious one.
Chick Corea. Come on, give me somebody good.
I mean, well, there's a number of them. Like, there's all kinds of ones that we've heard from. The
Marsalis brothers, the Winston Marsalis. Come on, if I throw out more jazz than you and you make the statement, I like jazz.
I like the music jazz. I'm not necessarily a huge jazz musician. Like,
you're not a connoisseur?
I'm not somebody that's going to know the history of jazz.
All right, come on.
I end up learning more about jazz when we talk with Bob Elliott a lot.
All right, here, throw out some jazz. You ready? Mark Eaton.
Okay.
Your turn.
Nah, you got me beat. Besides Louis Armstrong, I don't know that much about.
Do you know who Mark Eaton is?
Yes.
Who?
I know the name Mark Eaton.
Liar, you do not know who Mark Eaton is. I threw out some jazz for you.
Right.
Mark Eaton.
Okay, explain.
Karl Malone.
See, I only know Karl Malone as the basketball player. I don't know Karl Malone as a jazz musicianist.
No, he played for the Jazz, as did Mark Eaton.
Oh,
John Stockton.
Okay, now you're trolling me, and now I know what it is. Now I know
People
what's
in
going
their
on.
car driving down Campbell right now are like, Dragon Ball, you idiot! He's throwing out members of. the Utah Jazz.
Okay, if that's the case, then Pete Maravich, back when he used to actually play for the Jazz, back when I think they were still in New Orleans at the time, were they not?
They were.
Okay, so then we got that too.
Okay, I'm just saying. That's about that. I'm not a Jazz fan. That's about as far as I go.
Right.
One last thing bouncing around in my head. Do you see this? Phil Mickelson has decided to be scummy and take the money after hiding out for so long. Thanks to my cousin, Alan Shipnuck, who wrote the tell-all book about Phil Mickelson, the Arizona State Sun Devil has decided he is going to turn his back on his PGA brethren to go play in the, is it LIV League?
Well, this is the thing, is that he's going to play in the LIV, which is, I think that's the name of the event in London.
No, that's the name of the tour.
So the first event is in London, but he's going to play for the LIV. As far as he
hasn't resigned from the PGA.
Right.
The way that Dustin Johnson did.
Dustin Johnson did.
Dustin Johnson, he's just taking the money. He doesn't care who he's getting in bed with. Phil, who came out and said, yeah, I know those guys are scary, Blake, is just gone off and done it anyway. You don't see Jim Furyk going to play with those guys, do you?
No.
There's a difference between us and them.
But the U.S. Open is being nice enough to say that they're going to leave the door open to Mickelson and all the other eligible golfers should they want to take part in the U.S. Open coming up here soon.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's what's bouncing around in my big old head today. All right. Number for you to join us in the program, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We're going to talk more about was the season a disappointment? Yes or no for Chip Hale in Arizona baseball? Did Caitlin Lowe live up to the expectations taking over from Mike Candrea? You guys answer that question for me. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. See, when I give out the number, that I'm inviting your comments, your calls. Did Chip Hale and Caitlin Lowe get the job done taking over for Jay Johnson and taking over from Mike Candrea? We discuss that next here on 1290. Oh, I just saw the brackets. The brackets are being filled out right now for Tucson's Top Cat. I'll give you the 4 number 1 seeds in just a moment. You've seen some preliminary brackets that the committee's been working on, Dragon Ball?
I've not seen any of the preliminary brackets so far, but
Yes, you did. I gave you one yesterday.
Oh, is that actually legit?
Yeah, that was a preliminary bracket that the committee's been working on.
Oh.
What'd you do with yours? Did you throw it away?
No.
You didn't leave it somewhere, did you? Did you leave it where the public could see it?
I'm gonna need to go ahead and double check my my stomping ground back at the Chili's on West Valencia to make sure that.
Did you? So, if there's leaks on the bracket getting out early,
I'd be more concerned if there was spills on the bracket.
I don't know what's worse, that you lost the bracket or I lost my ATM card today.
Oh no!
Again,
how did you do that?
I don't know. I went to Whataburger and I thought I put it in my wallet and I didn't.
Oh man!
And now I can't find it.
Did you freeze your account?
I did. I canceled it, and then now I got to get another one.
Did you try to retrace your steps to get back there?
I did. I looked all over. I couldn't find it. I have no idea where it is.
Oh boy!
Which means I'm just going to get yelled at when I get home.
Yeah.
I remember before I got married, I didn't get yelled at. Well, actually, my folks would yell at me quite a bit. I've been yelled at my entire life. When do I get to yell at people?
You yell at me.
You're not people. Number for you to join us on the program, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290.
Okay.
You're my people. You're my people.
That was good. I will give you all the credit in the world. That was a good one.
I was at Chili's in Oro Valley last night eating dinner because my wife, I went home, it was hot, so I jumped in the pool to cool off. Mm-hmm. And she's going to get mad that I'm going to tell the story. So she goes, hey, you've got a barbecue tonight. I go, no, I don't want a barbecue. It's too hot. And she goes, I don't care. I don't want to cook. You're barbecuing. It's fine. So we started the fire. It's going very well. And I go, well, go get the whatever I'm barbecuing. So she goes inside and she comes back a couple minutes later and she has got this perplexed look on her face and she goes, I said, what's wrong? She said, I forgot to take something out to cook for dinner.
Wait, what?
So I had to get the barbecue ready. It's hot. It's temperature of the sun.
Oh, she forgot to take the meat out of the freezer?
Out of the freezer.
Oh, no.
She goes, I can run to the store. I'm like, no, we're going to go get something to eat. So we went to Chili's. And there was this guy sitting there, and they were talking about Top Gun. I was like, immediately, that's the greatest movie of all time. I've seen it 3 times. I'm going to go see it 4 times. I'm going to go see it again this week.
You're going to go see Top Gun for a 4th time now?
And I already pre-ordered the streaming of it when it comes to Apple TV.
You pre-ordered you could pre-order streaming now?
$20. Second it comes available, boom, it's on my TV. I'm going to watch it over and over and over again. I
was not even fully aware you could pre-order a stream. That's bizarre.
So I pre-ordered it, so I'll have it right away because, again, I'm dumb and I just saw it and pushed the button yes, which is how I buy most of the stuff that I buy on QVC.
Did you assume that you were just going to be able to stream it right then and there?
No, I knew that it said pre-order,
okay.
And then it said we're not sure when it's available.
Because I've done that.
Right.
I've ordered something thinking it was already there, but it was only a pre-order. So it's like, oh.
So the guys were sitting there. One guy said he didn't like it. I said, what's wrong with you? Another guy goes, did you have to wear masks or did you sit next to the person next to you? I'm like, dude, when's the last time I went to? He goes, I haven't been to the movie since the pandemic. I don't know the last time I went to a movie. The other guy goes, what's the last movie you saw? And it had been like 10 years since he had been to a movie theater. And I said, hey, buddy, you know what? Movies have just changed so much in recent history. They actually have sound and the people talk on screen. He didn't think that was very funny. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, nonetheless.
Everybody's sense of humor is different.
All right, so here's what I want to talk to you guys about. Number for you to join us, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. You know, yesterday was kind of a difficult day around here. It was a difficult day just to watch Chip Hale's team just get boat raced. What was the final score?
It was a lot to 5.
It was a lot.
Yes.
That was the final score. It was a lot. And it was painful to watch because these boys gave everything they could. These young men, these kids that were representing the University of Arizona played with all of their heart. And they hustled, and they tried, and they grinded. But in the end, they didn't have what it took to get to Omaha. And then watching that beatdown for the University of Arizona, they still hustled. I mean, listen, they hung their head. It's natural. But you had them still out there trying and grinding, and just wasn't their day. I've seen the very best teams in baseball that it's not their day and they get beat. I've seen really bad teams have a day where they beat the very best team. It's just the game of baseball. And yesterday, it was just too much for Arizona to overcome. And I've been thinking about this, so I want to know for you, grade Chip Hale on his first season at the University of Arizona. I'm going to give him a solid B+. I'm going to give him a solid B+. And the only reason I give him that solid B+ is because the expectations for the University of Arizona baseball program are stupidly, ridiculously hard and off the chart unreasonable. I'll just put it that way. The expectations for the University of Arizona is Omaha every year. Anything less than Omaha is a disappointment in these parts. Is that fair? Absolutely not. Is that right? Absolutely not. Is that what we have here? Absolutely it is. Would I have it any other way? Heck no. You see, I really do subscribe to that good is the enemy of great. If you just shoot for being good, you'll never be great. University of Arizona is a great baseball program. Why? Because anything less than a trip to Omaha is a disappointment. The standards are so high for Chip Hale, they're ridiculously high. Is it really fair to expect them to go to Omaha every year? No. But would you want it any other way? No. So I give him a B+ in the season. Getting as far as they did doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't really mean a hill of beans and nobody else is going to care. The fact that they knocked off the national seed Miami at the tournament would be reason for celebrations and parades anywhere other than Tucson. Anywhere other than Tucson, they go, wow, you knocked off the number one seed in the regional, a national seed. When you went to the tournament, other schools would be celebrating. For Arizona, it's like, we didn't get to Omaha. The standards are so high, Chip knows it, the team knows it, and I think they exceeded everyone's expectations. The fact that they fought through against Miami down to their last strike and came back to win shows you what Arizona baseball is all about, shows you what Chip Hale knows what he has to do, shows you what that culture is in that clubhouse. And I, for one, right now, before we get to the telephones, I just want to say to Daniel Susek, it was a pleasure watching you play at the University of Arizona. That is a special player that has an opportunity to do big things in the big leagues. And he's going to be one of those that we're going to talk about, like Brian Anderson, who made it to the big leagues, Trevor Hoffman, who made it to the big leagues. So many of these guys that have made it to the big leagues. We're going to talk about Daniel Susek, and he'll always be a favorite around here. Such a class act, and I think Michael Lev wrote about this in today's Arizona Daily Star, that Susek made sure that he soaked up every bit of the moment of his last game because he'll be drafted. He'll probably be a top 10 pick. He made sure he hugged each and every one of his teammates after the ball game because he knows what it meant to be a Wildcat, what it means to be a Wildcat, and what his future holds. Is the sky's the limit for that kid. The sky's the limit for that kid. He's already, I think, one of the best college hitters I've seen in a long time. And with an opportunity to take it to the next level, he's only going to get better. So what grade would you give Chip Hale and the Arizona Wildcats this season for baseball? Number for you to join us, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Let's go to Cruz, line one. Cruz, welcome. You're on Wildcats Radio, 1290. Bear down.
Hey, Rich, how you doing? This is Cruz, the Arizona football penalty guy. Remember me?
Yes. How are you, buddy?
Good. Just a quick comments on the Arizona baseball. I give them an 8. I think they did a great job. They swept Stanford. Yeah. They went. It was a hard tournament in Miami, considering the delays, rain delays. And then, I was really disappointed at Coach Jay Johnson for taking, Jacob Berry with him and a couple of pitching prospects. I don't mind the guy taking the job, but when he takes a couple guys with him, that's really disappointed at that.
It used to be the rule. Okay, if you're going to leave to go get a better job, that's fine. Just don't go and grab kids and bring them with you. Although with the transfer portal right now, that unwritten rule has gone out the door, and you will see kids follow coaches that go on to the next program. We had Umar Ballo follow Tommy Lloyd down here the way Jacob Berry followed Jay back to LSU. So with basically college free agency, that is now going to be the rule. When you leave and you hire that coach, he's going to bring a couple of his top kids with him. Okay.
And also, I think for next year, he's getting that kid Crisantes out of Nogales.
Yeah.
Which is the shortstop, and he's an awesome kid, all-state. So I think if he commits to Arizona, he'll do a great job. So he'll do great. Coach Lopez didn't do good his first couple of years, so I expect nothing but great things for the Arizona baseball team and Chip Hale. So that's good.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Bear down. I completely concur. I think that there's the best is yet to come with Arizona baseball. Chip's going to listen. Chip wasn't a recruiter. He'll be the first to tell you that. He had to learn the recruiting game, and he's still learning the recruiting game. But if you could turn around and, like I said, when he got the job, he walks in, he's got a World Series ring. He tells you, if you want to play in the big leagues, I know what it takes to get there. You want to play top-notch college baseball in the Pac-12, we have an opportunity for you to do all of that here in Tucson. And you want proof of the pudding? Look at all the kids that leave here and go on to the next level. If you're good enough, we'll get you there. It's a heck of a recruiting pitch that Chip Hale has. All right, we'll talk more about that. Francisco Romero, we're going to grab him next. All right, I know I'm a little late, right? Are you going to yell at me?
No, I'm not going to yell at you. Well,
are you going to give me dirty looks?
No, I'm not going to give you dirty looks.
You sure?
Well, depending on whether or not you do something in particular.
All right, I'll just be quiet right now. Francisco Romero joins us next. Is that what you want me to tell you? Do you want me to wait, or do you want me to do that now?
We could do that now.
All right, I might mess you up here.
I'll be fine. I'll work around it.
I'm not paying attention to the clock because of the big urban sombreros getting in my way.
You're fine.
All right.
This is part of my job.
To manage me?
To manage the clock and manage you.
How is that?
Which one? Which one's harder?
Yeah, which one's more difficult?
I would say the clock is more difficult.
Oh, all right. So I'm not that high maintenance.
Yeah, because the clock I can't yell.
But be quiet. I got to read this. Today's program brought to you by PGA Tour Superstore. PGA Tour Superstore is located at Oracle in Limberlost. It's Tucson's best golf store in all of Tucson, Southern Arizona. Here's the deal. They've got everything you can want. And with Father's Day's coming up, man, don't do what you did last year. Oh, just a card will be fine. And then your kid gives you a card and you look inside and like, seriously, you spent $3 on my card? No, tell your kid, I need a dozen golf balls. I need a dozen tailor-made golf balls. Tell your kid, I could really use a new Travis Matthew shirt or something from Nike or Under Armour, Puma, Barstool Sports. Tell him, hey, you know what? You want to get me something? Tell your mom I need some new golf shoes. Say, you know what? There's a pair of Nike golf shoes that I love. There's some from Skechers. They're going to be great in the summer. New Balance has some great golf shoes. Echo, Puma, Adidas. They're all available at PGA Tour Superstore. So don't be that dad who goes, oh, son, that's okay. I just want a hug. And then Father's Day rolls around and you remember, I bought my wife like a diamond tennis bracelet for Mother's Day and all I get is a card that you scratched out Merry Christmas and wrote Happy Father's Day. It's not even a new one. Come on now. Take care of Dad on Father's Day. Tell them, go to PGA Tour Superstore. And here's how you tell your wife and your kids and everybody else why they should go. You tell them, listen, my friend Rich has got us hooked up. Go to PGA Tour Superstore on Oracle and Limberlost and tell them I listen to the program. I listen to Wildcats Radio 1290. I listen to Rich Rivera. They'll take $20 off a purchase of $100 or more. They'll take $50 off a purchase of $250 or more. So if they really want to be big this Father's Day and get you a new golf bag, do it. I'll totally take care of you. Just mention Rich Herrera or mention Wildcats Radio 1290. They'll take care of you. Restrictions do apply. Ping, Titleist, FootJoy, not included in this promotion. Everything else, giddy up. PGA Tour Superstore, Oracle and Limberlost. Shop with the pros at Tucson's PGA Tour Superstore. Coming up, Francisco Romero joins us next here on 1290.
This is David Amata, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 341. Still looking to build the team through the transfer portal, the Wildcats will reportedly host Campbell transfer guard Cedric Henderson Jr. for an official visit later on this week. Looking to keep it in the family, the Wildcats football team sends a scholarship offer to current Sabino wideout Shamar Berryhill. Yes, that name is familiar. That is the brother of Stanley Berryhill III, who is now out at the Atlanta Falcons. The U.S. Open will not have Tiger on the official playlist, as Woods has elected to go out of the Open to give his body time to heal for a possible return at St. Andrews. And the Angels will be looking for a new direction, as they have officially fired manager Joe Madden in the midst of the team's 12-game losing streak. That is what's trending locally and nationally on 1290. Still more to come on Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Benvenidos, mi amigos. We continue with you here on Wildcats Radio 1290. I'm your host, Rich Herrera, the guy with the size 8 head, the guy who has a head not as big as mine, but it's filled with lots of knowledge, is mi amigo, Francisco Romero. Benvenidos, Francisco Romero, the radio voice in Espanol of the Arizona Wildcats and the Houston Astros, joins us every Tuesday here on 1290. How are you, bud?
Hey, for that introduction, I will send you a blank check.
I like that. What size hat do you wear?
7 1/4.
No, your head's bigger than that.
No, 7 1/4 for baseball hat, and check this out. For a cowboy hat is 7.
No.
You're thinking about my cheeks.
Yeah, I was going to say. So I've been wearing the urban sombrero around today. I got this big, ginormous straw hat. It's a real sombrero that I found, and then I've customized it, putting a red and blue on it, making it Arizona colors of the hat band. This is going to be my summer hat walking around Tucson as I get ready for football practice, standing out in the sun.
All right, so we'll be able to identify you real quick.
Exactly. Oh, you'll see this thing. It is like I wear a size 8 hat. I've got the only person I know that has a head bigger than me is Bruce Bochy and O.J. Simpson. Those are the only two human beings that their heads are bigger than mine. And this thing is probably the size of a small airplane sitting on top of my head.
And you know what? I had bought a new hat for a while, so I got me a 7 1/2, and no, I'm still at 7 1/4 for baseball hats.
Wow, I thought your head would be as big as mine. Anyway, let's talk a little. What do you want to talk first? Arizona Wildcat baseball, softball, or Major League Baseball? You choose.
You know what? First of all, I want to talk about real quick the softball team and the baseball team. Both of them are out, but what a great run both of them had. And what a joy it was to cover them through social media. And I talked to Charlize Palacios. Actually, there's an interview that I did with her on our Spanish Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. If you want to take a look at it, I had such a great time talking to her and learning about how her father was a catcher. He was drafted by the Indians, and her and her sister, one played for ASU, the other one for U of A. And one of the things that I really liked about her is that I'm like, so how did you become a catcher? And she goes, well, my dad was a catcher. That's the only thing he knew. He goes, so that's what he taught us.
That is outstanding.
No, so it was great. I'll probably put more sound bites that I have from her, but I had such a joy covering them and interviewing Palacios. So if you have a chance, take a look at it. It's in Spanish, but you'll be able to figure out. It was such a treat to be able to follow them and the baseball team. It's I think somebody tweeted. I don't know if it was you or somebody tweeted that it's in the right place, and I think it is from my point of view. And I think we'll have, we'll look at more great things from both programs, the baseball program and the softball program. And a lot of credit goes to, the administration, Dave Hickey, from top to bottom. They do such a great job, not only, doing the best for the program or promoting the program and doing the best for the student athletes. So I think it was such a treat to follow them the whole season.
Did she talk to you about why she went to Arizona and her sister went to Tempe Normal?
Yes, she did.
What'd she say?
She said that she wanted to do something totally different than her sister, so why not choose the rival?
Very nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder, do they have the house divided flag in front of their parents' house?
Oh, they said that all they breathe and talk and sleep is baseball and softball. And so can you imagine that? So I asked her, so what's it like, Thanksgiving at your house? And she was just laughing, and it was, such a great answer. She says, that's how we do talk, baseball and softball. And yes, it was a house divided, but so that's the way it is. And like I said, she said that she wanted something very, very different, totally opposite from her sister, and one more opposite can be than, playing for U of A.
I don't know, because, so those two sisters, the Zendejases, some went to school down here, other got stuck up north. So, I wonder what that's like when you have that sibling rivalry and you have the Territorial Cup rivalry.
Hey, you know what? I've been lucky enough to know both Zendejas, and I've been lucky enough. I actually worked for Luis. I was doing halftime report for the Cardinals for 4 years, and Luis was my boss or my contact with the Cardinals. And so it was such also a great conversation when they both talked about U of A and ASU. And I used to hang out with Max for a little bit. He's a good friend. And so, the rivalry is within the family. It's pretty tight. They do talk against each other. So, but all in fun. But it's nice when they're both together and you hear them talk about both schools.
We're talking with Francisco Romero. He joins us every week. Radio Voice in Espanol, by the way, does such a great job with the outreach and the coverage. Not just token outreach, but a real outreach with original content. And I know that we have some folks that speak both English and Spanish, and he does a bang-up job with the full support of Dave Hickey and the athletic department, making sure that we're building that fan base amongst Spanish-speaking Tucsonans and folks in southern Arizona and into Mexico as well. If you get a chance or you know someone who would love to see his work, you can find it online. Real quick, give us the social media tags.
Okay, for Facebook is Arizona Athletics in Espanol, and for Twitter and Instagram is AZ Athletics ESP. So that's what it is for, again, AZ Athletics ESP for Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, let me ask you this part. For baseball and softball, yeah, a lot of disappointment the way the season's ended. But I gotta tell you, just if I back up just a little bit and I look in the grand scheme of things, first year coaches taking over programs, one leads you to the tournament in Chip Hale in baseball, the other leads you to the Women's College World Series. There's a lot of schools that would give their eye teeth to have that type of baseball and softball season. University of Southern California didn't sniff the tournament, one of the most prestigious programs in the country. Miami gets knocked off by Chip Hale. You talk about what they accomplished this year. That's something. And then softball, for having a team that didn't do well in the Pac-12 now, albeit you had to play everybody in the top 10 that's in the Pac-12, but to make that run to Oklahoma City is something that we shouldn't take lightly, nor should we take for granted, Francisco.
No, we shouldn't. We should appreciate it. And like I said, especially being part of the social media with them, I get to see how they interact, a lot of video that they send, and then it's pretty neat how everything evolves around them. The family, and Charlize was talking about it, the family atmosphere, and Charlize was telling me about her dad being good friends with one of the coaches, and so I think it's a volunteer coach there, Coach Camacho, who's actually married to a friend of mine who went to Pueblo High School.
Really?
And so it's on the family. There's another player whose mom also went to Pueblo High School, and so there's a little bit of connection there to the south side of Tucson, and so we shouldn't take it for granted. We should appreciate it. We should run with it and build on it. And when I say build on it, hey, let's go support both programs more. I mean, they're very well supported, but hey, let's bring more people in and support them, and hopefully they'll get to farther than they got this year.
We're talking with Francisco Romero, radio voice in Espanol of the Arizona Wildcats and of the Houston Astros. By the way, firing today in Major League Baseball, Joe Maddon gets the axe in Anaheim. Does that surprise you?
You know what? It doesn't surprise me. It surprised me a little bit because I was talking to my broadcast partner, Alex Trevino, as right before our talk. And, before in baseball, he was mentioning that it was hardly unusual to have somebody fired before the All-Star break. And now you have two managers who have been fired way before the All-Star break. And so the Philadelphia manager and now Maddon, who's he and the Angels, their fans, first of all, were excited to see everybody healthy.
Right.
And even the national media was giving them a lot of love on how this was the most exciting team and the Padres to watch throughout the season.
And I know both managers. Joe Girardi and I have the same agent, and I, of course, spent a lot of time with Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay. It's interesting because both of them have completely different personalities. Joe Maddon's your best friend, your pal. Players love him. Joe Girardi's a grinder, and he's a grinder is the best way I can say it on radio. Both of them, it looks like the team just kind of tuned them out.
Exactly, and that's what happened. I agree with you. I didn't think of it that way, but now that you mention it, I do agree with you. And another aspect that I was talking to Alex about is the big hoopla they made when Madden was hired because he was part of the organization a while back ago. And so, yes, two different styles, results similar. People are talking about, if you watch the Phillies, how they find a way to lose games. Obviously, you don't want to lose a game, but errors are part of the game. Mistakes are part of the game. And this game, this sport really humbles you. I think we talked about it before. And you cannot feel you're better than anybody else because there comes a time when something happens and it really humbles you.
Well, it's interesting. So, did Joe Madden instantly get dumber when he takes the Rays to the World Series, wins with the Cubs, goes to the Angels? Did he lose it? Joe Girardi managed the Yankees for all those years. Did he lose it? It's funny. This is the one job in America you can have. You can still be a really good manager and get fired, and when they turn around and rehire you, they get themselves a good manager who's smarter for everything that he went through.
Exactly. The experience, you look at Girardi, and you look at his personality, his demeanor, and the way he goes about the business. It's, a little bit different. It seems like nothing bothers him, or he's gone through a lot of things. But then, like you mentioned, they didn't get dumber out of the sun, of course not. And even, as a matter of fact, they would be getting smarter for what they had. But, these are the things that need to happen to shake the team. And psychologically, I'm not a psychologist, but I think sometimes you have to have a fresh start or a restart or a reset button. And I think that's what most of the teams do. Just press that reset button and then see if we can do it again. You know what I mean?
Well, so you have one of the best in baseball. That hey, listen, if Dusty will hold you accountable, Dusty Baker will hold you accountable, but then he's also going to pat you on the back. So you get the best of both worlds with a manager like you have in Houston.
Yes, and it shows on the field and off the field, and how the players talk about him. And they'll, it's just the same, but any of these players, Coach Hay will run through the wall for him. And they appreciate what he does, and they listen to him. And you know what? In some of the plays, sometimes the players go to him and say, hey, you know what? I messed up. I should have done this or I should have done that. And he says it. And they do it right exactly because of what you're talking about, the way he goes about his business with the players on and off the field.
We're talking with Francisco Romero right now, radio voice in Espanol of the Arizona Wildcats and the Houston Astros. All right, Francisco, I'm going to tell you something that we're going to start tomorrow. I haven't talked to you about this, so this is a complete surprise for Francisco. We are coming up with a tournament. The Top Cat from Tucson. We have picked 64. Like, you didn't make the field. I thought about putting you in there, but you were last four out in the field of 64. We announced the brackets tomorrow.
Top Cat.
For the Top Cat.
Just sports or
No. Everything. So the number one seed, the four number one seeds in our four regions, Steve Kerr, Jerry Bruckheimer, Hollywood producer of Top Gun and Pirates and all those big movies.
Exactly.
Carl Eller, businessman, Circle K.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And Artie Moreno, owner of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Okay.
Now, we've dug deep. I mean, we've got Don Knotts is going to be in the field. Linda Ronstadt's going to be in the field. One of the Kardashians, Kourtney Kardashian. Greg
I don't belong in that field. I'm glad I'm out of there. I don't belong in that.
United States Senator Bob Dole is in that field. Greg Kinnear is in our field. Jason Terry, Gronk. We're talking about the ultimate Wildcat, the Top Cat from Tucson. So tomorrow the brackets come out. So I'm going to need you to fill out a bracket, and we're going to go week by week. So this week we'll have 64. End of the week we'll have 32. Then we'll have Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then the championship. If you were just to pick one Arizona Wildcat, who would you predict would be, of all the people that you know went to U of A, who would be the Top Cat?
Geraldo Rivera.
He's in the list. He's in the bracket. He made the field of 64.
No, mine would be, God, I have to look at the bracket stuff. But just off the top of my head, it would be Steve Kerr for for many things, especially when the Uvalde shooting happened. Steve Kerr made me cry. He's a top-notch guy, not only in sports as a player, as a head coach, as a front office person, but as a human being, he's such a great human being that, to me, just right at the top of my head, it would be Steve Kerr.
We'll see what happens in our tournament. You got Bruckheimer, you've got Gronk, you've got the owner of the Jets, the owner of the Suns, the owner of the Angels. You've got some heavy hitters in here.
Exactly. Yeah, and I guess most of our votes are going to be depending on our situation and what era we lived in and how we dealt with them, whether it's in business or in sports. But it'll be very interesting. Good stuff, man. That's very good. Who came up with that idea?
We got Bob Dole and Barry Goldwater in our brackets.
Oh, presidential nominee. There you go.
Yeah, we've got a Kardashian. Listen, you've got one of everything. You've got actors, actresses, Hollywood, businessmen, sports, broadcasters. You've got just about everything. So we're going to name the top cat from Tucson.
Wow. And you know what? Who would be in my second one? And or very close to one of my top ones, being a broadcaster? I hope Brian Jeffers is in there because
no, we stayed away from people. We stayed away from people. They had to attend the University of Arizona, and I tried to stay away from coaches.
Okay.
I didn't want to throw a Dia in there because she's still coaching, so we tried to stay away from coaches for the most part as well. So we didn't put Chip Hale in there. We didn't put Caitlin in there. So we wanted to keep it people that have attended campus.
Okay, cool.
So tomorrow that comes out. So retweet it, and then I'd like to see. We'll talk next week about your picks.
Is Kenny Lofton in there?
Could be, maybe. I can't give them all out right now, but
I can't wait to see
we've
it.
got a ton of them. All right. Hey,
all
Francisco Romero, thank you so much. Appreciate it, brother. I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. With you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll continue with you. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Regenerative Radio show rolls on here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Thanks for joining us, everybody. What's been the reaction to the urban sombrero today?
People have been wondering where you found it is the biggest thing. People want to know where that urban sombrero is found.
I've seen them in Tijuana.
Right.
I've seen them in Nogales. This one, though, I happened to find in Old Scottsdale.
Oh, Old Scott. Okay.
Yeah, I found this in Old Scottsdale. It has the... on the inside of it. Hecho mano 100% Palma. Hecho en Mexico. Unitalia. Alia. I don't know. So it's made in Mexico. It's made of palm leaves.
Right.
But then I had it customized so it has a little bit of red and blue Arizona look to it. This is the big hat. So if you've watched us on the stream, you've seen I've got a hat that literally, it's about 2 feet wide.
It's a very large hat. You're fitting through door frames by an inch.
Barely.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to wear out to camp when we have to stand out there and it's ungodly hot for football camp.
People are going to know it's you.
Well, people are going to stand next to me because there'll be shade next to me.
Yes, that is also true. That is also true.
Our thanks to Francisco Romero for joining us here on the program. Appreciate him. Are you ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
The big unveil of our Arizona's Top Cat?
Yes. I am very much ready for our Top Cat conversation.
So we've been working through, you and I, the committee has been working, trying to figure out how to seed this tournament, right?
Yes, we have.
Who's the last four in, first four out? Francisco Romero will tell you his first four out.
Yes. Sadly, Francisco.
Yes, Francisco's out. Couple others have been added in. I think Gilbert Arenas is on the bubble. He might be added in. That's how thick this tournament is.
The regular who's who of who is an alumni at the University of Arizona is vast and wide. Like I said, there's a couple of NASA astronauts in there.
I don't think they're going to make the tournament.
They're probably not.
I don't think they have much of a household name to make the tournament.
Well, they're not household names, but they're space-wide names.
They're space-wide names, but I don't know if they, so if I put up an astronaut against Savannah Guthrie, would they beat him?
Probably not.
If I put up an astronaut versus Gronk, would they beat them?
Oh, no. Not a chance.
That's why this tournament is so crazy.
I mean, Gronk catches things from space.
He does. So tomorrow, at midnight tonight, at 12:01, our brackets go live at WildcatsRadio1290.com. And you can vote for Tucson's Top Cat. I forgot to ask. I think you can vote as many times as you want. I don't know that for sure. And by the way, there's no prize, so we're just doing this for fun.
Yes.
But I did throw this out here. I want to throw this out here for you because you're a big Seinfeld fan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You've been talking about the urban sombrero. Of course I'm a big Seinfeld fan.
That's where I decided to get the hat because you said, oh, Rich, you need an urban sombrero for the summer. Like, I do. The Big Lead put together their rankings because we've been having to sit down and have serious discussion about the rankings. And what are you looking at?
I've got the list.
Oh, you got the list?
Yeah.
Okay. About the 64 names that make it and who doesn't make it. I thought then this is just to put you in the mood for the tournament. Here are the 64 top characters in the history of the television show Seinfeld. You ready?
I have gone through this list and I have some qualms about the placement of certain
number
characters.
64, Matthew learns to swear, destroys a cassette tape, and is just a complete hellraiser.
And for those who need a better description, this is the son of the man who was selling supposedly non-fat yogurt.
And then Jerry curses in front of him, and then he starts cursing.
Mm-hmm.
And they destroy... that was the one where Jerry's recording into a cassette player.
Well, he recorded an ad-lib. Yeah, he records an ad-lib set about the Ottoman Empire and something along those natures, and the kid just ends up ripping the cassette.
But isn't that the one where Elaine talks dirty to him into the cassette and he can't figure out who it is?
No, that's a different one.
Is it a different one? Okay.
That's a different one.
All right, so that's Matthew, the kid who squares. Number 63, Marcy, the inventor of yada, 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 the revolutionary and efficient storyteller.
Efficient is the key word in that.
Anyway, I was sitting here talking to Dragon Ball. He was telling me what he did for the day, yada, 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 and then we went to go eat.
That works.
Number 62, Ping, the hardworking yet somehow litigious delivery driver.
Yes.
A good character that should have made this list of 64?
I would say Ping deserves inclusion in this list. Absolutely.
He was in multiple episodes that Jerry started dating his cousin, and then he gets hurt, and then he sues everybody.
Yep.
Okay. Stan the caddy, a wise fountain of guidance on the course or off of it. On the course or off of it.
You have to have her try on the bra in the court. No, absolutely. You don't do that.
Wait a minute, is that Stan the caddy? Or is
yes, because he's the one who's talking to Kramer about the case.
No, that's Jackie Childs who says that.
No, Jackie Childs is the lawyer in that case, but the caddy's sitting behind Kramer that tells him, in order to close the case, you need to have her try on the bra.
All right, Kramer goes to play at Westchester Country Club, plays with the caddy, changes his life, and then has the caddy just follow him around for the rest of the eternity.
Now, do you think that Kramer would at least be decent enough to go ahead and give him the flags if he won?
Oh, 100%. He's not Phil Mickelson. Ruthie Cohen made monks feel like home, always behind the register. She was the cashier, and I think that was Jerry's mom sometimes.
Sometimes, yes.
Mr. Morgan ate his Snickers with a knife and fork in all classes.
Yes.
That's who. Didn't Elaine work for him?
I don't think that's the same guy. I think it's someone else.
All right. Katie, the agent from hell who hit her breaking point. I don't know who that is.
I think that's the agent that tries to book Jerry in a couple of different things, including the one that she tried to book him for a career day, and he got bumped.
Gotcha. All right. Laura, a classic BL, although not the best lip reader. Oh, that was Marley Matlin from Children of a Lesser God, and she was the lines person.
She was the lines person
at the U.S. Open. Yeah. She was deaf, and then she was a lip reader. So George wanted to borrow her to go lip reading to see what his girlfriend was saying about him, and then she got it all wrong.
Ex-girlfriend.
Rebecca De Mornay believed the homeless deserve better than topless muffins.
Yes. Okay, so she's a fun character, but I think she is in multiple episodes where she just harasses people about
things. So
different things.
Elaine starts a business?
It wasn't Elaine. It was Elaine's old boss, because she runs into her old boss and she suggests top of the muffin to you.
And it's just the muffin top.
And it's just the muffin top. And there's no bottom muffin.
So, when you make a big muffin, there's the top that everybody likes, and there's a stump that's in paper. And they just took the top of the muffin, sold that, and they took the stump and they
sent it to the homeless shelter.
To the homeless shelter, and she got mad. Don't the homeless deserve the top of the muffin? Do they just deserve the stump?
Yep.
Sid Fields, the old man who told it like it was and hated stealing. I don't know who that is.
That one's not registering with me. I might have to go through the history banks on that.
The Drake.
Everybody loves the Drake.
Him, polarizing. Everybody loves the Drake.
Everybody loves the Drake until they hated the Drake.
Marla Penny made the right choice of not sleeping with Jerry. That was played by Daphne from Frasier.
Yep, and then she later ended up with JFK Jr.
Janine Steinman. Closest thing to, she was dating Jerry, but she looked just like him.
Well, she was exactly like Jerry. She had like the same mannerisms, the same tone of voice. She had the same jokes, same haircut. This close, but eventually they realized that, I hate myself. I can't be with me. I hate me.
Naked man in the subway. Big, fat, hairy guy. When Elaine has to go out to the Costanzas.
This was in the subway with Jerry. Jerry takes a nap on the subway, wakes up, and
they're on their way to Coney Island.
Yes, and he's butt naked on the subway, and he's just like, well, we got to talk about the Mets. They start talking about the bullpen, the pitching. It's like, gotta love their chances.
Jean Paul, world-class athlete who overslept. And then the entire gang was supposed to wake him up.
And they all missed it.
But Kramer had a hot tub that threw the circuit, and no alarm clock went off, and he missed the chance to win the New York Marathon.
Yep.
Kevin, the Bizarro Jerry. Tony, if you don't think he was pure electricity, you need to step off, is number 48. Bette Midler, number 47, would have benefited from Oh, they played Bette Midler in softball in Central Park. 46, Chinese restaurant maitre d'. Cartwright.
This one I feel should be higher. That one is one of the...
Well, that's what we're going to talk about when we get to our brackets tomorrow.
Yes.
Izzy Mendelbaum.
Mendelbaum.
You've got a T-shirt that says "Best Dad."
A greatest dad, no, number one dad versus greatest dad in the world.
Alton Bennis. That was Elaine's dad who scared Jerry and George
to death. Yes.
Jimmy. The Jimmy. I don't remember him.
I can't recall that one either.
Okay, cousin Jeffrey.
Yes, this was the cousin that apparently looks exactly like a horse that George thought he saw when squinting when his glasses were misplaced at the health club. And he thought he saw Jerry's current girlfriend making out with cousin Jeffrey, but only realized that after he got his glasses, it was just it was like a Central Park cop hugging her horse.
Number 41, Poppy, the culinary who owned a restaurant, right?
Yes.
And then Elaine made a big deal. And then Poppy came to Jerry's house and ruined the couch.
Yes.
Okay, the rabbi who Elaine went to, she's number 40 in this list of the top 64 in their seeds. The rabbi was the Elaine went to go see him, and then he told everybody everything Elaine said.
Yes.
Right? The Moyle.
The Moyle should be top 25. That is one of the great side characters. I think we're going to have
the same arguments tomorrow when you see our brackets come out. The Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy, I feel
he's got to be higher.
I don't know. I feel like 38's right where he needs to be.
Jack Klumpus is 37. I think this is way too high of a ranking.
Jack Klumpus, actually, I feel should be higher. He is a majorly repeating character. And it's not just to take the pen. He is the guy who gets Jerry's dad removed from the condo.
Right, and then he has everybody turn on Kramer when it comes time for voting.
Yes, because he was wearing... He was wearing his shoes in the health center or something like that, or he wasn't wearing shoes.
He went barefoot in the shower.
Yes.
Russell Dalrymple. This is a big one.
Yes.
He was the NBC executive that was in love with
Elaine.
This is one that needs to be a lot higher. Marble Choate.
Mabel
Choate. She was the one who had the marble rye that Jerry robbed her of,
and she was the deciding vote that got Jerry's dad removed from the condo board.
Was she?
Yeah, it was the whole thing where she remembered the comment of the old bag.
She's only a 35. She needs to be higher. Justin Pitt. I don't know who that is.
Appreciated jazz music just like me.
Jake Jarmel. Lloyd Braun. Lloyd Braun should be higher, number 32.
Lloyd Braun, definitely a little bit higher.
Childhood friend of George.
Yep.
Dolores. We'll just leave that alone at 31.
Yep.
Bob Cobb. The man... Oh, this is the Maestro.
Yes.
Yeah,
Maestro.
He should be way higher than that at 30.
And then here's Elaine's boss, Mr. Lipman.
Right.
That was her boss at 29.
Pendant Publishing. Pendant Publishing. Mrs. Ross. How hard is it to wipe your wheels? She's only 28. Sidra Holland, again, a girlfriend of Jerry. She's way too high.
Yep.
Mr. Kruger. The guy who
this was George's last boss, if I recall, in the show.
Before is this? No. I thought he worked for Mr. Steinbrenner.
Well, he worked for Steinbrenner, but then when he got fired,
I think he work for.
I think he worked
Kruger
for
Industries,
because I think it was that he eventually had to leave the Yankees. I think it was following his near fake death, or when he got sent off for Tyson's Chicken.
Mr. Wilhelm. He worked at the New York Yankees and then joined a cult. He's ranked number 25. Lieutenant Joe Bookman, who found out that George or Jerry didn't turn in a book in high school from the library. He's 24. He was only on one episode. That's way too high.
This guy should be in the top 10.
Who's that?
Crazy Joe Davola.
Kicked Kramer in the side of the head and broke a motorcycle helmet.
Sic Semper Tyrannis jumped from the NBC crowd on this pilot episode.
Yes, that guy should be way, way higher than where he is. Susan Ross, the fiance of George, is ranked number 22nd. She died because George gave her cheap
wedding envelopes.
Mickey Abbott. This is a very, very underrated actor. He was a little person that was a stand-in on the soap operas and was way underrated at 21.
Yeah, he should be a little bit higher.
Jackie Childs.
Yes.
The Lawyers, number 20. Kenny Banya.
Kenny
He's
Banya,
pretty good. He's number 19 in their seeds.
It's gold, Jerry.
It's gold. Well, go to Mindy's for dessert. Mindy's for a meal. Because he gave Jerry an Armani suit.
Yep.
Helen Seinfeld, Mrs. Seinfeld.
Yep.
She's only 18.
Babu
Bat, who had the
Jerry's
Dream,
a very,
the
very
Dream
bad
Cafe.
man. Very bad man.
The Dream Cafe, right?
Yep.
And then they sent his immigration papers. Jerry didn't check the mail, and he got deported.
And now probably the highest rated athlete on this show, Keith Hernandez. MVP.
Number 16, dated Elaine and Jerry at the same time. Jerry and he were bros.
Yep.
And then he asked Jerry to help move, and Jerry had to break up with him.
Yep.
Sue Ellen Mishke, the chewing gum heiress?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Bob Sacamano.
I feel that Bob should be top 10. Anytime Kramer had a harebrained scheme was always Bob Sacamano's fault.
I mean, this is the type of work that we put in for the brackets for the Tucson's Top Cat.
And then number 13, you got the Soup Nazi.
The Soup Nazi's
at
13. Morty Seinfeld.
Morty, yeah.
My raincoats. And then
love the executive. Love the executive raincoat.
Uncle Leo.
Jerry, hello.
Oh, who would want you? You got hair growing out of your ears. Jay Peterman, number 10.
Probably one of the best voices on that show.
I think he deserves a higher ranking.
Probably, I would say maybe in the top 6.
Putty. Putty's got to be higher than number 9.
I don't know.
That's
I feel 9.
This is how ours is going to be this difficult.
Yep.
Where do I put Woody Johnson? He's not a number 1 seed. Is he more of a David Putty?
Where do we put, Miles Simon? Where do we put
Does Miles Simon make the field?
Does Miles Simon make the field? Where does Sean Elliott go if he can't be a number 1 seed? Where's he going to go?
Estelle Costanza, Mrs. Costanza.
Yep. I feel like the Costanzas they almost have to be a pair. Like, because you can't have one without the other.
Tim Watley.
Tim Watley
is number
yes.
7. Way overrated. He was the dentist. He was the guy from Breaking Bad, and he would tell dentist jokes.
Well, he wouldn't tell dentist jokes. He would tell Jewish jokes because he converted,
right.
And Jerry felt that he converted for the jokes. And it didn't offend him as a Jew, it offended him as a comedian.
Right.
And then when Jerry started making jokes about dentists, it started making
way
issues.
overrated. Way overrated. Frank Costanza is only number 6.
Well, for good reason.
How can he not be in the top 4?
Newman's got to be number 5, and the main 4 have to be the top 4.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
All right, so Newman's 5, and then their top 4 seeds. Jerry's 4.
I feel that's fair.
Kramer's 3.
I also think that's fair.
I disagree. Elaine is 2. And George is 1.
George has to be 1.
Kramer's got to be the number 1 overall seed.
George has to be 1.
Kramer.
No, George has to be number 1.
Who had better scenes? Give me the top 4 scenes ever from Seinfeld. Kramer has got to star in most of them.
The scene where he goes to save the whale on the beach. The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to turn soup at a deli.
When Kramer was auditioning in Hollywood, and they kept showing him, and he was like the kid, and he was this and that.
I will admit, though, probably my favorite Kramer scene of all time will always be him at the AIDS walk after he gets beat up by everybody, and he's just slowly trying to inch his way across the line.
I'm telling you, this is the type of work we put into Tucson's Top Cat.
And that's just for one TV show. This is for the entire course of a college
All right,
history.
I'm going to give you our 4 number 1 seeds coming up here in just a moment. We'll do that coming up next. Are you ready? Who are the top 4 seeds all time of Tucson's Top Cat? That's next here at 1290. It's a Rich Rare Radio Show here on Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, brackets are set. They'll be released tonight at midnight or 12:01:01.
12:01:01.
Or 12:01.
I think it should just be 12:01. I don't think it matters the second count.
No, but you could start going to wildcatsradio1290.com at 12:01. I hope this takes off. And again, I'm going to ask you, please share this with all your friends. We'll put it out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And we've worked pretty hard on this. The committee's really sat down. A couple people are kicked off the committee for falling asleep like they did during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, but
fell asleep.
I didn't see that, and I didn't see who fell asleep during the meetings here. I didn't see that.
Oh, they're gone. We kicked them off the committee because they fell asleep when we were deciding whether we were going to put astronauts on or Nicole Richie, who I didn't know went to the University of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to decide who has to go up against the number one seed, because there's always that, will we have that 16 versus 1 matchup with an upset? It could happen.
It could. I don't know. We got some pretty strong 1 seeds this year.
Here's our 4 overall number 1 seeds. You ready?
Let's go.
Number 1 seed overall. Do you have music for me? This is now official. We can release this. Do they do that where like they tell you who the 1-1 is before the bracket comes out?
And so for this, you're looking more so for the drum rolls, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear them in there typing? Where can I find a drum roll? And now we can hear you coughing. Oh, boy, this show's really going someplace today.
It's going somewhere. All right,
what
you're
do you
ready.
got for the number 1 seed? Ready? Hit it. The number 1 seed overall in the Tucson's Top Cat tournament is none other than legendary. I need more of a drum beat. Drum roll. Now I forgot what I was going to say. The number 1 seed overall in our tournament, legendary NBA player and coach, Steve Kerr. I think the committee got this one right. Can you think of somebody who better represents the Arizona Wildcats than Steve Kerr? What he's done on the floor as a player and then as a coach? It's hard to argue with Steve Kerr, isn't it?
It is not difficult to say that Steve Kerr belongs as the top seed in our Top Cat tournament.
But as we know, very rarely does all 4 number 1 seeds make it to the Final 4. Just being a number 1 seed, you're going to have to fight your way out of that first round, because you never know who you're going to go against.
You never know.
All right, the number 2 overall seed. This is number 1 in a different bracket. A legendary film producer, Jerry Bruckheimer. This was close. The committee really had to. The committee ended up. There was actually a fist fight in the committee meeting.
You know, I don't know if I would say so much of a fist fight as much
Well,
as
somebody got backhanded.
There was a slap.
There
There was a
was a
loud,
slap.
contentious slap.
Yeah, and it was better than Will Smith's slap,
Oh man,
because this comes way back and knocks someone's glasses off.
they were wearing glasses before that.
I think so, because they weren't afterwards. I think they got broken in the slap.
I don't remember them wearing glasses coming in, but they certainly weren't wearing them coming out.
A lot of people argued that Jerry Bruckheimer should be the number 1 overall seed with the strength of Top Gun Maverick, the original Top Gun. What else has he produced?
Well, he's done
Pirates.
He's done, like you said, you already said Maverick.
Is there a bigger guy in Hollywood right now than Jerry Bruckheimer? Is there a bigger producer in Hollywood in the last 10 years? The last 2 decades?
I mean, depending on like what you want to describe with Steven Spielberg's work as a producer versus a director.
But lately,
no.
Look up Bruckheimer. Give me his films. Bruckheimer, I'll put it to you this way. Top Gun Maverick is going to save the theater industry as we know it. Because there was a good chance. Like, there was a movie I wanted to see called Greyhound with Tom Hanks. When the pandemic hit, they ended up putting that straight out to Apple Plus.
And Okay, so not only is he a great action director, but also a great sports producer.
Okay.
He did Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans, classic movie.
Right. He went ahead and I believe it was also Coach Carter, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah,
Coach Carter was his.
Yeah, Coach Carter. He also did Armageddon, which was Bruce Willis.
Come on, Armageddon versus Sudden Impact, which was better? Armageddon. Right?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay.
The Bad Boy series.
Bad Boys, what you gonna do? Come on, those are great movies.
National Treasure.
Nicolas Cage.
Black Hawk Down.
A classic film.
Glory Road. He also did that one. Okay, a personal cult classic for me, even though I know this movie is terrible. Kangaroo Jack. I think that's a very fun, dumb comedy.
What is Kangaroo Jack?
Oh, you don't want to know. We don't have time to describe what Kangaroo Jack is. He also did The Rock and Con Air.
The Rock brought back Sean Connery.
Beverly Hills Cop. I believe he did. Yeah, he did both Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep. Flashdance. American Gigolo.
He did that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, American Gigolo. He did that one.
Okay, so there's nobody bigger in Hollywood than Jerry Bruckheimer.
Coyote Ugly.
Been to the Bar.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
These are great movies. All right, he's our number 2 overall seed. And there was a big fight, very contentious, that Bruckheimer should have been number 1. But Steve Kerr, with an opportunity to win his 9th ring, edges him out barely. All right, next one. Ready? The number 3 overall seed. His name's not just to the side of the building at the University of Arizona. He's also responsible for my soda today. Carl Eller of Circle K fame is our number 3 overall top cat seed.
The business school.
One of the most successful businessmen in America. Really kind of remade what convenience stores are. The K isn't the K for Carl?
Yep.
What would America be like without Circle K?
I almost don't even want to know what that would be.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a world without Circle K. Thank you, Carl.
Be a lot more AM PMs though.
Do you think you could eat if I worked out a deal, do you think you could survive eating Circle K food for 30 days?
For 30 days?
How long could you go just eating at Circle K?
Now, do I have to eat something different every day, or can I have at least have
anything that they serve?
Okay, because I was going to say
not you can get chips, but just the hot food that they have, hot dogs.
Do the
nachos?
Do the pastries count like the donuts?
Pastries should count.
Okay, if that's the case, I probably could. I don't know if I'd want to, only because I'd like to at least
have a vegetable
at some point.
I think I could go a whole year of eating nothing but Circle K food.
That is a task not fit for me. That is a task made for stronger men.
Like me. All right. The number 4 overall seed came to the University of Arizona. The GI Bill left to start an empire that led him to be a billionaire. More drumroll. Led him to be a billionaire. And then eventually he bought the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. We're talking about Artie Moreno.
Bit of an odd day for Artie to show up today, considering
that he fired my friend Joe Madden.
Yeah, there's a little bit of awkwardness there, but hey, we still appreciate everything he's meant and done for the University of Arizona and represented the University of Arizona. As
he came with nothing, GI Bill, and he started this business and became a billionaire with a B. Self-made man.
Yes.
American dream. Anybody, you know what? You put your mind to it, you get the breaks, you can become as successful as you want in this country. Artie Moreno is the American dream personified. He is our number 4 overall seed.
And I don't think anyone's going to disagree.
No. So you wait till tomorrow to see.
I tried to disagree, but I couldn't.
Did. Who were you going to put in there? You wanted Woody Johnson.
I kept saying Woody Johnson since we were arguing between ownership of franchises, but
so there's 3. I'll tell you, there's 3 professional owners in the field. Woody Johnson of the Jets, Artie Moreno of the Halos, and Robert Sarver of the Suns.
Yes.
Woody Johnson, didn't he inherit?
He did inherit. This is
but
true.
I do give him credit that he came out from New York to come out here to Dirtbags. I had lunch at Dirtbags today, and
I was gonna say, did you just go to Dirtbags today?
Yeah, I went and had lunch at Dirtbags today, and my son's roommate, his parents went to the U of A, so they actually met at Dirtbags. So I called him and said, "Hey, listen, I'm sitting here at the place your mom and dad met." Kind of creepy, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to stop right there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Anyway, those are the 4 number 1 seeds. I will tell you some of the interesting ones that are going to be in there. Bob Dole.
Yes.
United States Senator from Kansas. Don Knotts.
Don Knotts is in there.
Hollywood legend. Geraldo Rivera has to be.
Francisco Romero mentioned him. Yeah, I think that's his Cinderella story for his bracket when he gets it.
I'll let you give one more name away.
Well, there's also one Mr. Barry Goldwater.
Barry Goldwater.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one more that you really think is a dark horse who has a chance to win this thing.
I think, personally speaking, for me, you gotta believe that Gronkowski is going to have a huge run.
Is he in the field?
I believe so, based on what I've seen or what I've heard.
You had one in there that you really liked.
I had one in here, and I think a lot of folks in Tucson are also going to agree. I was rooting to try and get him in a higher seed, but I like to think that Chuck Cecil will go ahead and get a little bit further down the road. I mean, this is a man who went about 100 yards in one game at one point for him.
Well, he changed the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
He changed the National Football League because of his play. The National Football League was forced to change the way the game is played, and it's become soft because of Chuck Cecil.
I don't know if I want to blame it all on Chuck, but
he was the one who was spearing and hitting, and they said, I got to change all the rules to the NFL because he was so vicious.
That being said, no one, I think, could have looked more like a Vince Lombardi era Packer in a different time than Chuck Cecil did when he got to the Packers.
So there you go. So
I've never had the confidence to say, but I honestly would love to go up to Chuck Cecil and say, does anyone ever tell you look almost exactly like Ray Nitschke?
We'll get him on the program.
Oh man, I would love, because I swear when I saw him in his Packers jersey, I thought that was Ray. I was like, that looks like Ray Nitschke. He's like, no, that's Chuck Cecil. What?
I still have the Sports Illustrated article, and my brother gave it to me 20 years ago to get Chuck to sign it. I still
did you ever do? Oh no, come on, man.
Today's program brought to you in part by Trajan Wealth. 321-4100, 321-4100. You go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJAN Wealth.com. Here's the deal. Trajan Wealth. They are located right here in Tucson, Arizona. They're a fully served, privately owned, A+ Better Business Bureau rated financial firm. What's that mean? That means they're right here. They're your neighbors. You're not calling some 800 number talking to one person today. You call back tomorrow and that person's not there anymore. They hand you off to somebody else. You don't even know who you're talking to. These are your neighbors. These are people that you know. These are people that you develop a relationship with. These are people that partner with you to help protect your money. You've worked your tail off to earn that money. Now find someone who will protect it for you. And that's what they do at Trajan Wealth. They're fiduciaries. They are paid and incentivized to grow your portfolio. If you don't have that relationship, I suggest you call them today, 321-4100, or go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJAN Wealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Coming up next, we got to talk about Tommy Lloyd. Red flag today in the Arizona Daily Star in regard to Azuolas Tubelis. What happened? We'll tell you next here on 1290.
This is David O'Malley, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 4:51. Another commit for Arizona's football team as three-star corner from Texas, Carter Stoutmeyer, officially announced his addition to the 2023 recruiting class for the University of Arizona. And the Diamondbacks and former Cy Young pitcher Dallas Keuchel have officially agreed to a one-year minor league contract, this according to the franchise's AAA affiliate. And the Seattle Seahawks wideout DK Metcalf, after being present for voluntary minicamp, has suddenly become a no-show for mandatory camp, which began today over in Seattle. And another firing in Los Angeles as the Sparks have officially parted ways with former head coach and GM Derek Fisher following the team's difficult start to the year. And that's what's trending locally and nationally on 1290. Still more to come on the Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Our Rich Herrera Radio Show rolls on here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Thanks so much for joining us. I saw this note in today's Arizona Daily Star, and it kind of in it put up a red flag for me. Julius Tabelis, who is expected to compete for Lithuania in the 20 and under international tournament, European tournament, is not going to, after seeing doctors in Europe. They said he has a wrist injury. That's a big red flag for me. I hope he gets back as quick as he can so they can either start treatment or if he needs surgery, which was, I don't think it's implied, and I don't want to lead anybody down there, but if he does need to have something done, you need to get that treatment done immediately. Because that's the one thing that, you could deal with ankles, you could deal with knees, but if your wrist isn't working, it's pretty hard to shoot the basketball. Tommy Lloyd has got some more work to do churning over this roster. When I say churn over this roster, it's not turnover, it's churn the roster. Because I think we have now entered into the next phase of free agency in college basketball. We've seen a couple players come to visit and then sign. We've seen some players put us on their list. Players have all of the juice now. Players have 100% of all of the power when it comes to where they're going to play college basketball, play college football, and whether they're going to stay there or not. So right now, the University of Arizona goes 8-9 deep. They need more depth. They need more depth. They need more depth. You need to be able to count on Julius Tabelis 100% for next season. And as Tommy gets ready to go into the next season without Christian Koloko, which I think was a foregone conclusion, and we know Ben Matherin was going, Dalen Terry, when they started this, if you would have asked me, I'd go 50-50 whether Dalen Terry, I'd probably go 25-75 that he would be back. There's about 25% chance in my eyes that he would be back. But again, as I told you throughout the process, the longer he stayed in, the less chances of him coming back. So every day he stays in, 26%, 27%, 28% that he'd leave until it got to 100% because he just kept sticking around and more people saw what we saw on a daily basis. So with that being said, Arizona's got some commits coming in next year, but I think they need one or two more players. And now with the Julius Tabelis and the possible wrist, I think it's even more important that Tommy gets some added depth to his basketball team. Dragon Ball?
Yeah, the hope is definitely, I mean, you were mentioning that players now have all the weight on them now that they can do whatever they want to do. And really, we've been saying it since the start, is that the transfer portal is going to have to be Tommy's best friend for this upcoming season. Right now, the hope is they can bring in, on his official visit to campus this week, Campbell transfer guard Cedric Henderson Jr., because this is the guy who's in the transfer portal right now. He's the highest scoring guard left in the portal. If you can get him to come in and be that extra ammunition in the wings, that would be huge, especially with the loss of Dalen Terry and Ben Matherin. So hopefully Tommy can maybe convince Campbell to join with the U of A for this upcoming season, and hopefully Azulis' wrist isn't as bad as we are worried it might be.
Right, and again, that's just me being pessimistic. That's not me being a doctor or knowing anything else, but the fact that he's not going to play in the European Championships is a reason for concern. By the way, we had that one-on-one interview with Umar Balo. We're working on getting some more of those long-form one-on-one interviews with players, just so you get a chance to meet them. And we played it twice. I think it's worth playing one more time, and then putting it back out on social media. You really get a chance to learn about Umar Balo and what I love the kid. I absolutely love the kid.
Oh yeah,
and I think you'll love him even more and appreciate him even more when you hear what it was like for him to leave as a kid, leave his family behind to go play basketball. So far from home in Spain, Mexico, Spokane. He talks about getting in a taco eating contest with Ben Matherin.
Yeah,
it was something special, and we're working on another one for this week as well. So we'll keep you apprised of that. All right, real quick, just a reminder that today's program is brought to you by QC Kinetics. This is the best part of the year right now. The weather's nice. The monsoons haven't come. It's the time that everybody wants to be out playing golf. Everybody wants to be up in the morning going for a hike. Everybody wants to go for a walk. I've actually been getting up going for a walk in the morning now. But you know what? If you got joint pain, you can't live the way you want to. If you have joint pain, chronic joint pain, the idea of going for a hike or just a morning walk is terrifying, because you know how bad it hurts to just try to do the things that all the rest of us take for granted. Whether you have hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, it just sucks the fun out of living here in Tucson, Arizona. But we've got fantastic news for you. QC Kinetics is helping people right here in Tucson, get back into the fun of living in the desert this time of year with advanced regenerative treatments from local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body and highly concentrated, and then putting them into the aching joints. This exciting in-office, non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints, giving you real, lasting relief from pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options, and the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. They have over 100 clinics nationwide, including one right here in Tucson. Yes, you could get real pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. So stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about regenerative medicine and get a totally free in-office consultation today. Here's their number. Call them right now. QC Kinetics. Here's their number. 520-497-4955. That's 520-497-4955. QC Kinetics Academy in Orange Grove. Call them right now. 520-497-4955. Get rid of that chronic pain and be able to go take a hike and a walk and enjoy Tucson like it was meant to be. QC Kinetics, 520-497-4955. Coming up, we'll have the list, the biggest stories of the day. I want to talk a little bit more about baseball and a conversation with Francisco Romero, all coming up here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Program rolls on. I'm Rich Rare. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks to Dragon Ball. You've done a good job today.
Thank you.
Do I give you enough credit? People tell me I don't give you enough credit for this program.
I feel like I get a good amount of credit.
You're just saying that.
People keep asking about me when you go to live events, and I'm back here working the board. So I feel like that's decent enough recognition.
Okay.
I feel that's fine.
I mean, do we need to start patting you on the back more, telling you you're doing a good job?
No.
Do I need to get you an urban sombrero?
If you could find me an urban sombrero, I will gladly pay for one myself. I've been meaning to find a big hat. Because I don't have a decent.
I got a bunch of them.
Well, you've got a size 8 dome, so.
No. I got a bunch of like big straw hats. That I could wear.
And see, I've got some of those styles of hats, but they're always very thin. I feel like the hats I have are more so for like humidity, like weathers, like Miami walk around hats. I don't have anything for Tucson walk.
I got boonie hats. I got like a blue one. I got a red one. I got an orange one. I got a blue camo one. I've got an Arizona boonie hat.
Wait, does Boone wear these?
Or? No, boonie hats. They're
okay.
The hats that like spec op guys wear.
Okay, no, I'm just so used to you when you say boonie, I'm assuming you were talking about Brett Boone.
No. Boonie hats.
You should tell him that he should market that.
He should.
He should market a boonie hat for Brett Boone.
I think so. So I got those, and I got a bunch of straw hats. I got like 4 or 5 cowboy hats.
Right. Yeah.
And then I've got these big sun hats, and I've got a couple. I got one with red, white, and blue. I got another one with a Hawaiian print in it. I got a couple that I wear in the pool if I go out in the middle of the sun.
Right.
Because as large as I am, I will wear a sun shirt.
Right.
I'll wear a rash guard. Nobody wants to see my beach whale butt in the pool.
I keep telling you, the best way to go ahead and adjust the cold water in the pool, you take that shirt off.
You're supposed to just jump in.
No, you can't just jump in. Then you get the hypothermia shivers, and then no one looks cool with that.
I've got the urban sombrero, so I'm going to wear this bad boy everywhere.
And you should.
I'm going to wear it in the press box. And then people behind me, can you please take that off? I can't see.
I would think that in the press box, you would absolutely be allowed to wear that because it would be an extra Ramada inside the press box.
They could just have me stand, and other reporters could stand next to me and be in the shade.
They'd set you up where they would find a way to get you to stand up on the shelf, like the actual, like the desk where they write and they put their laptops. They would have you set up like a lampshade and just have you be the extra shade for like Mike Lev and Bruce Pascoe over there.
I am putting it on right now as we speak.
And the best part is you can't see your eyes. You absolutely cannot tell where you're looking. Like that is like the perfect like bad guy in a Western movie hat because you can't see where he's looking.
I'm actually wearing it on the camera right now.
Yeah. It's got a very long brim.
It is the urban sombrero.
Urban sombrero.
And I like it with the red and blue Arizona hatband now.
Yes. That is also a good look. I'm glad you got that fixed up.
Yeah, this looks sharp. You really can't. You can't even see my face.
You can't. You really can't.
So if you want to look on,
blocks you.
If you want to look at our, I can. It actually, the microphone sounds different because it's so big. It's knocking down. It's knocking down what I'm saying.
The echo is bouncing off the brim of the hat back onto the mic. That is actually very impressive.
I've
never seen that. I've never seen that.
I did want to take this portion of the program though. I did want to bring up one thing I talked about in the first hour. I want to just tip my cap. My urban sombrero. I'm tipping my urban sombrero to Caitlin Lowe and Chip Hale, and that's a big sombrero. I'm tipping my cap to. I want to give it up for Caitlin and Chip. You know what? First-time head coaches taking over at the University of Arizona. Chip's walking on, never having coached college before. Taking over for Jay Johnson, who took his team to the College World Series. Chip was up for the job, wanted the job, but still, that's a pretty big role to fill. And to get what he got this year out of him is something pretty remarkable. And then I look at what Caitlin Lowe was able to do. And for Caitlin, for her, stepping in for the GOAT. No other way to put it. Mike Andrea is the GOAT. It cast a long shadow over Mike Andrea Field, Hillenbrand Stadium. Now, again, Mike really kind of handpicked Caitlin to take over and run the program. And she had been an assistant, and he handpicked her, and he knew that he was going to turn over the reins to Arizona softball to her, but still taking that over, having an opportunity to be a head coach. But when both of these individuals come back, they're both alumni. That puts pressure on you. And quite honestly, they both are in win-or-go-home situations. Mm-hmm. Anything less than going to the College World Series is a disappointment for both programs, period. The expectations are so high for both of these programs, and I think both of these programs did the University of Arizona and the city of Tucson proud. For Caitlin to take her team to the College World Series when nobody gave them a snowball's chance in Hades is remarkable. And watching them grind and fight and get as far as they did, incredible. Mm-hmm. And I think Arizona baseball was good enough to go to Omaha, but they had to have a couple things happen for them. And this happens to a lot of teams. They needed to play perfect baseball. And they needed a little bit of help from their friends, meaning the weathermen in Miami. They take out Ole Miss. They lose that first game. You go into the losers bracket. That's nearly impossible to fight your way out of the losers bracket. But I think they could have done it. But with the weather that they had and everything being pushed back a day, you lose to Ole Miss. Now you're going to be in the losers bracket. And quite honestly, that humidity that out there was going to zap anybody's strength. Mm-hmm. And then having to play the 2 games in one day was going to crush you. But they fought back out of it. And this is going to get lost in translation. The fact that you knocked off the number 1 seed in that regional, who was a national seed, is something that most schools would just celebrate. At Arizona, we just kind of go, when you get to the College World Series. That's the expectations that Chip has for this team. And I think anybody around the Arizona baseball program wouldn't want it any other way.
No.
So the fact that they got as far as they did, and they just ran out. They ran out of pitching. They were dog tired. Ole Miss had no pressure on them. They had just had to split 2 games coming up on Monday in order to advance to the next round. You know, it was a hill too high to climb. But I tell you what, you look at what Daniel Susick did and all the rest of these players did. It was something to behold. And I'm proud of the job they did. I know they're disappointed, but I just think that next year you're going to get so much more out of Chip, out of the Arizona Wildcats. It will be something to behold.
And, you know, a lot of things, like you said, they had to go right for the U of A over in Coral Gables, and they didn't. A lot of it had to go with the fact that, look, let's just put it bluntly. This team played 4 baseball games in the course of about 30-plus hours. That is not an easy feat because they had the late start on Saturday. They couldn't play on Friday. They ended up playing 2 games on Sunday, and then on Monday, poof, a couple hours of rain delay, power outage, and everything like that. And I always say, when there's a rain delay like that, one of 2 things is going to rust, the arms or the hips. And remember, the hips did not rust in that game.
Remember, where I come from in big league baseball, there's a rain delay, you go back in the clubhouse.
Yep.
You have air conditioning. You have places to take a nap. Where were they?
You're sitting in the dugout.
You're sitting in the dugout. You're sitting down the line. They didn't have the facilities.
Nope.
So I give, again, we're going to work on trying to get Chip to come on the program, and already put in a request for Caitlin to come in and do a postscript on the season. But I'm just going to tip my cap, my big old cap. Woohoo! I tip my cap to both of them for the job that they did this year.
And speaking for softball, too, also a big props to the Pac-12 softball season. 3 teams were in Oklahoma City this year.
Yeah.
Big year for Pac-12 softball.
All right. Coming up next, I'll give you the big stories of the day and then our conversation with Francisco Romero, the radio voice in Espanol of the Arizona Wildcats. That's coming up next right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, we continue with you here on Wildcats Radio 1290. I'm your host, Rich Herrera. That, of course, is Dragon Ball. By the way, you haven't bothered me with any hockey talk lately.
Not with a lot, because, again, the series are... your complaint about how the NBA Finals is so sporadic now...
Right.
It's pretty much the same thing.
He shoots
There
and
you
scores!
go. There you go. The Tampa Bay Lightning just...
Is that Victor Hedman?
Patty Maroon, I think.
Patty Maroon!
So that's a goal. And, again, the Lightning need to win this in order to tie
I should
the series
find
up.
my hockey play-by-play and show you how good I am at calling hockey.
Oh, you got the play-by-play for hockey?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I remember
I
you
worked
saying
in
that you
the,
were
I worked in
doing
the Western League.
Oh, okay. I remember you saying that you were doing like a lot of the sideline reporting. I don't remember you saying that you did.
One-timer by, I don't know who it is, but the rebound goes to Patty Maroon, and he shoots, he scores!
Yep.
Patty Maroon sneaks it underneath the pads, and the Lightning take a 1-0 lead.
Chester Skin did not like the rebound given up there. He's going to want that one back.
Third goal of the playoffs, 22 postseason, and the Lightning at home take a 1-0 lead.
Like I said, they need it right now. The Rangers have been beating them up over at Madison Square Garden. They're going to need to steal one of those games over in New York.
I did play-by-play in the Western Hockey League. That's like real hockey.
Yeah.
And then I did it Roller Hockey International. I was the voice of the Anaheim Bullfrogs.
Oh, wow.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
I'm very talented. I don't think you give me enough credit here.
I mean, you've been pretty much everywhere and done everything that you could
What does
possibly
that say?
do.
Does that mean I'm really, really good, or I just can't keep a job?
I feel like that says that you are
Combination of both.
skilled in all, master of none. I think that's better.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Skilled in all, master of none.
That means I'm not good. I'm not really. I'm kind of capable of some things.
You are not a master of one particular skill because you have spread out your knowledge and expertise to so many different veins.
I think I'm a pretty good talk show host.
Well, yeah, you are a good talk show host.
I mean, that's why
You're a good interviewer.
That's why they hire me on the weekends.
Right.
To work at CBS.
Yeah, you're a good talk show host. You're a good interviewer. You're a good, you
keep telling me nice things about myself because you hurt my feelings. Here's the big stories of the day. Cats out baseball, softball. Heck of a run for both squads. The Cats win one game in Oklahoma City. So they weren't 2 in a barbecue, so they fought their way through. But they dropped their game to Texas this week, so they're done. Arizona baseball has to go through a long, lengthy weekend. They were down to their last out on Sunday. Their last strike on Sunday. It beat the Miami Hurricanes, but Ole Miss was just too much for them yesterday, so the season is over for both Arizona baseball and softball. Track and field, though, is still participating, and I've got some interviews. I went and met the team bus while they're getting ready to take off. We talked to Fred Harvey. I'll have those for you tomorrow as they get ready for the Nationals this weekend in Eugene. Baseball, you notice there were 2 managers named Joe, and they're both gone. Joe Girardi is first manager fired this season by the Philadelphia Phillies. Joe Madden, the man who broke the curse, the Billy Goat curse in Chicago, gets fired from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. This is really early before the All-Star break to start firing managers.
And the sad thing was that Joe Madden, if I'm not mistaken, about a week or 2 ago, he was sitting at like the 8th best record in baseball, and then this 12-game losing streak happens, and it's done.
So he's out. Phil Nevin, who was the third base coach of the Yankees last year, and remember he had that faux pas at third base.
Yep.
Cost him his job in New York. He's now the skipper of the Angels. So who would have thunk it?
For one of our number 1 seeds, Artie Moreno.
For Artie Moreno, yeah, number 1 seed. Big news tomorrow. Tucson's Top Cat tournament begins. You can go online tonight, midnight, and start voting on who's Tucson's Top Cat. That went to the University of Arizona alumni. They didn't have to graduate. They just had to go take classes. The 4 number 1 seeds are Steve Kerr, Jerry Bruckheimer, Carl Eller, and Artie Moreno. And we'll see who fills out the bracket of 64 tonight at midnight.
To figure out who the Top Cat is for the University of Arizona Top Cat tournament.
That's right. It starts tomorrow. Top Cat.
The most effectual Top Cat, whose intellectual clothes
Call him TC. There you go. NHL playoffs going on right now. So what happened in the West?
In the West, it was a sweep.
Who won?
The Avalanche.
Avalanche beat the who?
Avalanche beat the Oilers. So once again, it will be another Stanley Cup final with no Canadian team.
Canada.
It has been a long time since Canada It's been a long time since Canada had a participant. It has been a long time since they had a last time that they had a winner.
I think if Canada would share poutine with us, we'd let them have a Stanley Cup final.
No, they got to start sharing the real syrup, not the stuff they send out. It's got to be the real maple syrup.
Have you ever had poutine?
I've had poutine.
Poutine is outstanding.
It's very nice, but
does anybody serve poutine in Tucson?
I wouldn't know, only because I'm such a bad person when it comes to breakfast foods. I don't eat breakfast that much.
That's an everyday food.
Poutine?
Yeah, if you go to Canada, you eat that at a ball game. They serve it in a paper cone.
Right? Yes.
So it's French fries with deep fried cheese curds, gravy, and then some type of meat on top of it.
Yep.
Oh, so delicious.
See, I've always seen it more so as like a breakfast meal of some kind.
No. I told you I tried to buy a baseball team once, right?
Yes, you mentioned this.
And we're gonna buy a team, move it to Montreal, and we were going over with the concessionaires what we were gonna buy, what we were gonna have, we were gonna serve. They love Pepsi, they love chocolate, and they love hot dogs and poutine. So I said, well, how do you serve poutine? And they showed me. And I've been to a couple NHL games where they actually serve it. It looks like it's in an ice cream cone. And then you eat it out of the cone.
It kind of almost looks like a crepe.
No, because it's...
I mean like in the shape. I mean in like the holder.
No, it's a paper cup. It's a paper cone.
Well, because like the big crepes that you get at like festivals and stuff like that, I feel like...
I've never had a crepe in my life.
Okay.
There's a place in the mall, in Tucson Mall, but I've... Oh,
no, I think there's a couple spots...
I go get cheesesteaks or tacos. No, but okay, so you've had a drumstick before, right?
Yes.
So if you take the drumstick out of the wrapper, it's just a paper cone. That's what they fill with French fries, cheese curds, gravy, and then meat on top. Whew. I used to have a buddy who had his own fryer, so we would go drinking, go back to his house, and he would make poutine for us at 3 a.m.
That's a heck of a meal at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Anyway, NBA Finals tomorrow. Steve Kerr tries to take a 2-1 lead on the Boston Celtics. Coming up next, Francisco Romero, the radio voice in Espanol of your Arizona Wildcats. He's next here on 1290.